while we requested the agenda point, it was at a time when we have had the entire debate as well ongoing about the integrity chamber. And added to that, we had a visit of the Dutch chief of police and reports in the media that were, to put it mildly, somewhat frightening. Um, we thought it prudent to have a discussion on the protocol that was signed, because seemingly, based on the protocol, the Dutch chief of police was here and decided to make some unilateral investigations and, in certain cases, visitations without even the knowledge of the justice minister. In the meantime, however, uh, when this agenda point was put off, developments have taken place. The Integrity Chamber ordinance was accepted by a majority, and the Minister of Justice went to the Netherlands, and there were developments that continued. Agreements have been reached. Further agreements have been worked out based on the protocol. So rather than, let's say, we're questioning the minister now on not necessarily an outdated protocol, but a protocol that has been expanded, has been worked on, and other details coming out of this protocol are now known to government based on the agreements that they have reached. I want to suggest that the minister gives Parliament an update, particularly in view of his trip, the agreements made, the agreements reached at, and where we are at in the execution of the protocol. And then, if necessary, well, I for sure and or other members of Parliament will then be able to question the minister further on the protocol and the developments coming out of it.
During that meeting, I once more requested that we know whether the Dutch government was going to abide by the protocol sign, or whether they have chosen the path that the National Chief of Police of the Netherlands claimed to have agreed with the ministers, namely that they do not need St. Martin, do not need the minister, do not need the local police corps, that they will do the investigations on their own. And I can tell you that the outcome of that meeting, as you have in the meantime noticed, does not do that, does not underline the statements that Bouwman made. And to the contrary, the atmosphere of the protocol, that we would in cooperation strengthen the justice chain on St. Martin, but not only on St. Martin, but it was also something that was agreed on in the joint ministerial consultations of Aruba, Curaçao, and St. Martin and the Netherlands, that we would strengthen the justice chain in the coming period jointly, based on mutual agreements as to how that should happen. That was reaffirmed in the public press release that was released in the Netherlands, and was also known here in the newspaper, that that is the route that we were going. And the agreement was that we will, after that meeting in the Hague, we will get together and work out the details of this agreement, because up to that point, that was not the case. We are still in the process of coming to agreement as far as that is concerned. It is known that the Dutch government has made, in particular the Ministry of Plasterk, 22 million euros available for the strengthening of the justice chain, and is prepared to form two groups of investigators over a period of 2 years, totaling about 50 full-time equivalent functions, to investigate what they call undermining in St. Martin. As I've said before, the debate with Minister Plasterk and Minister van der Steur took a turn in which they were really requested me to underscore that, to sign off to that in the press release, which I refused to, because I said nowhere in that proposal was there anything said about the other aspects of the protocol, which were concerning the strengthening of the local police force participating in the joint detective team, and strengthening of other sections of our local law enforcement agencies, so that we are not confronted in the first place with a situation that after 2 years the Dutch pull out, and we have a vacuum here on St. Martin that cannot be adequately filled by our local law enforcement agencies. Secondly, I felt that in accordance with the committee, the Fourth Council Committee, as it is called, Plannen van Aanpak, who also reported on the matter of the need to strengthening the local law enforcement agencies in view of the fact that we are under the agreed upon capacity for becoming a country, St. Martin, and that applies to the police force, applies to the prison, applies to the level of training and all those kind of aspects. Those aspects were not addressed in that press release, so I categorically refuse to sign a press release that would commit me, St. Martin, to the plans as seen by the Ministry of Security and Justice without the aspects that are of importance to St. Martin being filled. It is my opinion that if there is rampant corruption, as the Dutch perceive, on St. Martin, and I think it's the opinion of any sound thinking member of parliament or government official, if there's rampant corruption on St. Martin, then that rampant corruption has to be tackled, as it would undermine our democracy and undermine the safety of our people and our children and our future generations. So there's no difference of opinion where is concerned if that is the case. However, I do not perceive it as such. As you all know, we posed that question to the Witt-Sampson committee to investigate during their investigations whether there were any indications, signals of any sort that indicated that there is rampant corruption in the community of St. Martin. And we're not only talking about government, but as Mr. Bowman said, tot in de haarvaten van de samenleving. If there were any indications that that is the case, I find it difficult to believe that a population of 56,000 would have that kind of how could I say that, undiscriminate kind of statements made about it. I do not believe that, but I do believe that a number of things are here are very important. One, that we have increasing violence in St. Martin when high-impact crimes are being committed that need to be addressed. We are confronted with the fact that the police force has not reached the level that it needs. It's projected at 300, let's say 40 full-time equivalents, and they are at this moment at 170, even fell back from the 200 to the 170, and we've taken the decision that the 30 that are missing, that they will be filled to come back up to the 200, but we are still way off from the amount of police that we need on the island.
Vitamalt takes care of you. And now, check under the marked caps for a chance to win prizes. More detail on press.
Need a loan that's quick and easy. Island Finance. Up to 50,000 guineas real easy. Island Finance. For education, a renovation. That's no problem. Yes, it's true. That's not all. They're quick and friendly too. Island Finance. Appliances, vacations, even fix your car. You can depend on Island Finance.
Reading and writing are my big problems. To make matters worse, my wife and I have separated. Coincidence on saying. It was my wife who was in charge of paying bills, handling incoming mail, and dealing with all kinds of forms and other paperwork. After my wife had left, I realized how hard it was for me to pronounce and spell words consisting of more than 2 syllables and words containing more than 2 successive consonants. In the workplace, Quincy was hiding his handicap, asking his fellow workers which letters to be delivered had more priority. As a rule, his questions were answered in a loud voice by his colleagues, and Quincy made believe he had read the addresses concerned well. One thing was sure, he could memorize facts very well. Suddenly, Quincy noticed that his job security was in danger. A new employee had been engaged to work in his department and to shred papers. From the manager in charge, he got the advice to take a course in reading Papiamento and Dutch. In the beginning, Quincy didn't want anybody to know that he was attending literacy classes at Pro Alpha. On the form I handed to him, he wrote that his name was Pedro Martina. A teaching learning plan was drawn up for Pedro to tune up his reading skills and acquire reading comprehension skills.
Good evening, my name is Eliane Bent and I'm the director of the ABC program. I'm a teacher at the Milton Peters College, that is my day job, and at the night I volunteer, you could say, with this program that is geared towards adults, and we are combating, fighting, battling literacy problems on the island of St. Martin. But we know that when we started with the program, the people that came out were very glad that there was finally an opportunity to educate themselves. Every now and then, every month, we get new people that walk in that want to improve their skills, and they work in different parts of the society. We have people that work at bakeries, I can't say anymore, construction, and they have different shifts. So some of them come in from 6 to 8 and some come in from 7 to 9. We also have some that came in from 4 to 6 or 5 to 7 just to accommodate them because of the fact that they have different shifts working. We try to accommodate them on the Tuesdays and the Thursdays. If for any reason they need an extra day, we also try to accommodate them. But there is a need on the island of St. Martin for people to get educated. Yeah, we know St. Martin is more like a melting pot and people come from all over to try to make it here, and you get people from all different backgrounds, and yes, they come with their baggage and they come with their shortcomings and they come with the problems, so we are trying to help. With us in the program, coming from being able to do nothing and needed too much repetition, by now they are able to read a basic of 100 words. We call it the Fridays, the Dolce list. Those that are in education know that list. So yes, it is helping. We want to do more, but we are glad right now where we are and we're looking up to where we are going.
If someone needs help, how can they get in contact with the organization?
Okay, the organization is situated at the Com Center, as you know, that is opposite of the Flawn. It is under the Thy Kingdom Come Church. Everybody knows that church. We are under there, and you can always walk in daily from 9 till 6 if you want to sign up. And on Tuesday and Thursday we are there till 9 o'clock at night. So you could always walk in and just put your name down. And yes, there is a little fee, but it is not about the money, so we really don't hassle people about the money. Come and we're going to try to see what we can do, how far we can bring you if you are motivated to learn.
It's just only the English language that you teach, or other language?
We are focused on the English language. Up till now, we had nobody that was really interested in Dutch, even though I myself speak Dutch, Miss Marfa Sam speaks Dutch, but up till now it is based more on the English as a first language or English as a second language.
I'm here with the director of the library. The section this evening, how did you find that it went?
I think it went very well. It was a very good opening of our Literacy Awareness Month. We had different things. We had testimonials from people who were illiterate themselves. We had testimonials from teachers. We had information from how they run the program in Curacao. We can learn a lot from that. And it was a very good discussion, a lot of information. So I think, yeah, it was a good launching of the month, and I expect the other activities also to be successful.
And I understand on the 19th you have something else, so
Yeah,
more
next
about
week
reading?
we have a panel discussion and movie night at the library, and then we're gonna watch first a movie from the States about the literacy program, and then we go into a panel discussion about literacy on Sept.
Basically answering, we are the world, you and I. So remember, it's like you're answering each other. Like have it exactly. I know. So don't, remember when each one of them going up to sing, when each one of you are singing, I think you have like little punchlines to the end. Go on. Help them up.
Wake up, look around and see that your dream's gone. When the hurricanes will help you make it through the storm. When the flow breaks, the magic carpet can stand on.
We are the world united by love.
So strong, you thought was gone.
Someone to help you move the obstacles you stumbled on. Someone to help you rebuild after the road is gone. We are the connected by a common bond. Love, the whole planet singing along.
You and I, there's no one. What's your feeling? We amplify the world, we watch it multiply. Feeling like the whirlwind, we can make the world win. Like Erica, St. Martin and Antigua, now Dominica need us.
Judge for the first 2 seasons. I judged the category for singing and of course all the other categories. And I decided to take a back seat to allow others to get an opportunity to take part and judge and be part of the whole experience that you're experiencing now. And next to me is Fernando Clark. Come forward, Fernando, don't be afraid. And he was a judge actually for the first season of the Breakthrough Talent Show. And he actually judged the category comedy. So the talent isn't just limited to the standard singing, dancing. Okay, now we have bebopping and so, but it's also any other extraordinary talent that you have. So Fernando is a comedy judge. So guys, I invited a friend of mine, Omari Banks. I had an opportunity a couple of years back to be part of his album release, Move On. For those of you that don't know him, before he stepped into the arena of music, he was a cricketer. Am I saying this correctly? Cricketer, sorry. So from switching from cricket going into music, he's gonna basically give you a little history about that, and you will get an opportunity to ask questions. I thought that was kind of important for you guys because you guys are now becoming the future of Breakthrough Talent.
As he said, my name is Omari Banks. I'm from the island of Anguilla, which is a neighboring island of St. Martin, of course. And I grew up as a child involved in a number of activities, sports and music being always the focus. At a very early age, I would say I was somebody who knew what I wanted to do in my life. Cricket being the first thing, which I think the world got to know me as a cricketer. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with the sport cricket. I know St. Martin plays a lot of football, baseball, etc. But I've played professional matches here in St. Martin as well. But cricket was something which I went into I started to play at the age of 7 years old. I think sports, I believe, and I've always said that even now that I'm into music full time, that sports was the perfect starting point for me to go into a professional career of music. I'll tell the story from backwards to forward. As I mentioned cricket, the first person I would mention in my music is my dad, Mr. Banky Banks. If you guys are not aware of Banky Banks, you probably, good chance your parents would be aware of him. He's my dad. He's somebody that I've grown up around from a child, and that's where my musical genesis began. I grew up with the band house beneath my bedroom, so I always give a big respect and honor to my dad. So music was something that was always around me. Music was something that I could not escape, and I have to give a lot of respect to the people who's paved the foundation for me in music, as well as paved the foundation for people in Anguilla, and as well as a lot of musicians and artists across the region.
It's been said that behind every door, possibility awaits. How much possibility depends on which door you open first. Every day, we help our customers discover the possibilities in their lives. It all starts with a conversation. Scotiabank. Discover what's possible.
1,
2,
3,
4. This is how common it is to develop a mental illness. 1 out of every 4.
4,
4.
4. But there is hope. Today, most mental illnesses can be managed and treated. Visit your general doctor if you feel concerned about your thoughts and behaviors or have some difficulty dealing with some of life's issues.
If you have been diagnosed and are suffering from a mental illness, keep in mind these 4 points to help you manage your mental health.
1. Get regular checkups with your general doctor.
2. Stay on your treatment plan to prevent relapses.
3. Find a strong support group in your family and friends.
And 4. Never be afraid to ask for help and look out for the warning signs of your illness.
Remember, you are not alone. We are as close as one.
2.
3.
4.
Learn about mental health illness by going to the Mental Health Foundation's website at www.mhf-sxm.com.
Need a loan that's quick and easy. Island Finance. Up to 50,000 guineas real easy. Island Finance. For education, a renovation. That's no problem. Yes, it's true. That's not all. They're quick and friendly too. Island Finance. Appliances, vacations, even fix your car. You can depend on Island Finance.
So do not think that you can enhance your performance by the use of drugs, because later it will destroy you. And the second thing we would like to remind you of, keep an eye on what is happening in the world. Despite all the difficulties that we are hearing about drugs and the development of drugs, still in the world of sports, drug is not legal. Drugs are not legal in the world of sports. So we know that there are a lot of great performers who have lost their gold medals, who have lost their crown because they got themselves involved with performance-enhancing drugs. So we want to let you know that we as a Turning Point will be here, and we're going to be working close with the ministry in order to help to prevent the use of drugs and the destruction of the lives of our young people on St. Martin.
The day of getting all the sports things together. Could you give us an update on how is it going so far?
I think it's going really well. We have quite a lot of organizations here, almost 20 organizations who are represented here. Right about now they are giving demonstrations and talking about their various sports. We have a full trickle of the public coming through, walking through and listening and seeing what's happening, and quite a few people signing up to the different organizations. So far so good, we're going good. We have a celebrity event that's going to start pretty soon, so that should be pretty cool. And then from there, we'll wrap it up and be done for the day.
How many, would you say, how many people came out to? Because a lot of people here is on the field.
Yes.
And I guess there's a lot of sports organizations.
Yeah. But what's really good is that the different organizations also brought through some of their youth and kids and persons who actually participate in their sport, which is really good. So it gives the public and the general public who are here watching an idea as to what is entailed in the various sports, and also the opportunity for them to come and sign up and to a particular sport if they want to. So it's really busy. The lights are coming on right now, so it'd be really cool to have the lights on and showcase this facility as well.
I noticed that most of all the teams have given explanation about their organization.
Yes.
How is that going?
That's going really well. It's going really well. It gives them the opportunity to showcase what they have to offer and talk about themselves. It's a good platform for them to be able to do this. It doesn't come around very often for them. So most of the organizations, or if not all of them, are taking advantage of the opportunity to speak about themselves.